Welcome to our channel. Today we are diving deep into one of history's most infamous maritime disasters, the sinking of the Titanic. Stay with us till the end to uncover the full story of what really happened on that fateful night of April 14th to 15th, 1912. The birth of Titanic. The Titanic was a marvel of modern engineering, built by Harland and Wolff in Belfast, Ireland. It was one of the largest and most luxurious ships of its time, a symbol of human ambition and innovation. The ship was part of the White Star Line and was designed to be unsinkable, featuring cutting-edge safety measures, including 16 watertight compartments. It measured an astonishing 882 feet long and 92 feet wide, with the capacity to carry over 2,200 passengers and crew members. Its interiors were designed to rival the grandeur of the finest hotels, featuring lavish first-class suites, a grand staircase, and a swimming pool. The Titanic represented progress, luxury, and the pinnacle of shipbuilding technology of the early 20th century. The maiden voyage begins. On April 10, 1912, Titanic set sail from Southampton, England, amid great fanfare. It was a voyage filled with excitement and optimism, as passengers from all walks of life boarded the magnificent ship. The ship made brief stops in Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, now Cove, Ireland, to pick up additional passengers. It was a floating palace carrying some of the wealthiest people of the time, including John Jacob Astor IV and Benjamin Guggenheim, as well as hundreds of immigrants dreaming of a new life in America. Little did they know, this journey would become one of the most tragic maritime events in history. Warnings of icebergs. As Titanic sailed westward across the Atlantic, it began receiving multiple warnings from other ships about icebergs in the area. Over the course of April 14th, at least 6 iceberg warnings were sent to Titanic's wireless operators. However, these warnings were either ignored or not properly relayed to the bridge. The ship continued traveling at nearly full speed, about 22.5 knots, believing it was invincible. The belief was that Titanic was built so well that even an iceberg collision would not cause significant damage. Unfortunately, this overconfidence would prove to be a fatal mistake. The fatal collision, at 11:40 p.m. on April 14, 1912, a lookout in the crow's nest, Frederick Fleet, spotted an iceberg directly ahead. He rang the warning bell and shouted, "Iceberg right ahead!" The ship's officers acted quickly, ordering the ship to turn to the left and the engines to reverse. However, due to Titanic's massive size and momentum, it was unable to turn fast enough. The iceberg scraped along the starboard side of the ship, puncturing the hull below the waterline. The collision damaged 6 of the watertight compartments, a number far exceeding what the Titanic could survive. Despite not suffering a direct head-on collision, the ship was doomed. Why the Titanic sank? The Titanic's designers had believed it could remain afloat if only 4 compartments were flooded. However, with 6 breached, water poured into the ship at an alarming rate. The bow of the ship began to sink first, pulling more water into the vessel. The ship's construction also played a crucial role in the rapid sinking. The steel rivets holding the hull together were not strong enough to withstand the impact, and the lack of a double hull design made the situation even worse. As the ship tilted forward, passengers and crew quickly realized the ship was going down much faster than expected. Chaos and confusion. Panic spread as passengers and crew scrambled to find safety. Captain Edward Smith ordered the lifeboats to be lowered, but there was a major problem. Titanic only had enough lifeboats for about half of those on board. The ship was designed under outdated maritime regulations that did not require enough lifeboats for all passengers. Officers enforced the women and children first rule, but in the confusion, many lifeboats were launched only half full. Third-class passengers, many of whom were below deck, struggled to reach the lifeboats as barriers and locked gates prevented their movement. The lack of preparedness and poor emergency response led to the unnecessary loss of hundreds of lives. The Titanic breaks apart. As the front section of the Titanic sank deeper, the rear of the ship began to lift high into the air. Around 2 a.m., the immense structural stress caused the ship to break apart. The forward section disappeared beneath the waves first, while the stern remained momentarily afloat before plunging into the icy depths. The sound of metal twisting and breaking echoed across the sea as the once great ship was reduced to wreckage. Survivors in lifeboats watched in horror as the Titanic, the unsinkable ship, was consumed by the Atlantic Ocean. The icy waters and the rescue effort. As the Titanic disappeared, over 1,500 people were left struggling in the freezing waters of the North Atlantic. Hypothermia set in within minutes, and the cries for help filled the night air. Only a handful of people were rescued from the water by lifeboats. The RMS Carpathia, having received Titanic's distress signal, raced through the night to rescue survivors. However, by the time it arrived hours later, only about 700 people remained alive, huddled in lifeboats. The sea had claimed the rest. Aftermath and investigations. The Titanic disaster shocked the world and led to major changes in maritime safety regulations. Investigations were launched in both the United States and Britain to determine what went wrong. As a result, new laws required ships to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers, maintain 24-hour radio watch, and adhere to stricter iceberg monitoring. The International Ice Patrol was established to track icebergs in the North Atlantic to prevent similar disasters from occurring. Titanic's legacy. The story of Titanic remains one of the most studied and talked about tragedies in history. In 1985, Dr. Robert Ballard discovered the wreck of the Titanic nearly 12,500 feet below the surface. The haunting images of the shipwreck fascinated the world and sparked renewed interest in the story. Books, documentaries, and the famous 1997 movie Titanic have kept the memory alive for generations. The Titanic's legacy serves as a reminder of the dangers of overconfidence and the importance of proper safety measures at sea. Conclusion. The sinking of the Titanic was a tragic event, but it taught the world valuable lessons about maritime safety. What do you think about the Titanic disaster? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more historical insights. If you found this story fascinating and want to explore more amazing mysteries of our world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us bring more incredible content your way. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an exciting new video. See you in the next one. Blast off globe sparkles